Welcome to the Universal Progress Newsletter, where progress equals progress. If you find value in this, please share with your friends and family. The Art of Perpetual Victory. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Steve Jobs. By the end of this article, I'll give you the secret of how to win at the infinite game of life with 100% success. But before then, I want to share a long-winded story about my process of getting hired with the fire department that will help drive home the objective. In 2014, it was a very competitive process to get on the fire department. By the time I was eligible for the test, it had taken me 5 years to apply because I needed to get my prerequisites, education, and medical certifications. It was intimidating walking into the community center and seeing 2,000 other applicants, most dressed in suits and ties, taking the same written test as me, knowing only 20 of us 2,000 applicants were going to be given an opportunity to be recruited for the academy. 200 applicants who passed the written test were asked to do a round-robin oral board, and roughly 45 applicants who passed the round-robin interview went into a formal oral board for an extended, intimate interview. I had the advantage of having a few friends and family already on the fire department, and they banded together to help me prepare for the interviews. This was a great opportunity, but it added pressure because if I failed, it meant I had wasted their time. The first practice oral board was with my late father-in-law, Roger, my brother-in-law, and a friend of the family. On my first run-through, I did horribly, and I think we might have even stopped short so I could get some feedback. Roger had a gregarious personality and was bigger than life. Even on a question like, "Tell me about yourself, Brian," he could answer the question and tell a story about me better than, well, me. He had details about my life I never even thought of saying and could tell my story better than I felt like I could tell it. We ended up doing another round, and I went in there with Roger energy, like I was a mini Roger. I didn't do great, but I thought with practice, I could pull this act off. I went home, and every day I worked on every question I could find on the internet and come up with a rock-solid, Roger-style answer to everything I found. By the time my final interview came, I felt prepared for any question that they might ask of me. Even if they asked, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? For both European and African, just in case. Hopefully there are some Monty Python fans out there. I had a friend who was testing at the same time, and he didn't have the help I had. He did not do so well in the round robin portion, but he made it through and was going into the final interview. I was ranked in the top 10 heading into the final interview, and he was sitting at almost last. We both had our final interview around the same time, so after the interview process, we gave each other a call to see how it went. He told me that they chewed him up and spit him out. He told me that he was already planning on preparing to take the test again and wished me luck for the academy. I felt bad for him because I thought it went amazing for me. In there, I was answering the questions just like I had prepared. Almost every question they asked me, I had some extravagant story to go along with it. And I thought I had them on the edge of their seats. The results came in and we flipped. He was now at the top of the list and on his way to the academy. And I was at the bottom and left to apply at a later, undetermined time. I was heartbroken. I had failed, and even worse, I'd let my family and friends down. My father-in-law was able to secure a meeting a few months later with the training captain and me at Starbucks. The training captain was hesitant because he had told Roger he didn't even remember the people who interviewed and wasn't sure he would be able to give me any constructive advice. But like I said, Roger just had this way of influencing you to do something once he set his mind to it. And he was able to secure a 15-minute meeting. Although he had previously stated to Roger that he didn't remember anyone, as soon as he sat down, he looked straight into my eyes and said, "I remember exactly who you are." It was not a good thing. And he notified me that I had crossed the line from confident to cocky, leaning back in my seat half the interview. At one point, he saw me mouth the word perfect, stating it was clear I had rehearsed questions and had a cookie-cutter story to go with everything. He told me the fire department was looking for real people. For example, one of the recruits they hired was a humble cowboy who, instead of wearing a standard suit and tie, showed up as himself in blue jeans and a cowboy hat. I tried to reach out to my friend, but he didn't verify. It definitely sounded exactly like him. I'm very thankful to this captain for taking time out of his busy schedule and, more importantly, opening my eyes to one of my biggest life lessons. At the end of the day, something Roger would always say, the best I could have done playing Roger was second. And if anyone knew Roger, knew that was my game plan going in, they would have known that I was destined to fail because he was an absolutely impossible act to follow. But the lesson was simple. No one will truly be a better me than me, because even with my imperfections and abundant mistakes, I am the only authentic version of me there will ever be. And when I really take a moment and sit down in silent reflection, I can identify the true person that I am and how I want to take action in the world to sing into the corner of the universe that I was put here to be. We constantly have millions of distractions pushing and pulling us away from the desired life that we want to live. That day at a basic coffee shop, I learned a universal rule for how to succeed. The only way to win this infinite game of life is by unapologetically being myself, because everything else is secondary. Thank you. I'm currently reading my children a book, and I found this quote perfect for this article, so I'm adding it in here. Listen to your heart. It knows all things because it came from the soul of the world, and it will one day return there. The Alchemist.